I'm on the bus right now, going to CVS, chilling and shit. So it's a long ass story, but I'm being stalked by a group of people, and it started in what, 2012 and shit like that, right? I used to work for Whole Foods. I used to work for this company, Whole Foods Market, and when I used to work there, whatchamacallit, I was being harassed by a manager or whatever. So I actually told my aunt or whatever, and whatever, she was really no help because she hasn't worked in like what, 30 years or some crazy shit like that. So basically what I did was I called there was this shit like a secret line, like you call anonymously or whatever, but I didn't call anonymously. Like that line, that hotline shit is like to call if you got whatchamacallit, if you like snitching on somebody who's stealing and shit like that or whatever. But I called that line. I was like, yeah, there's a manager harassing me, da da da, and they were like, okay. I don't remember what they said, honestly. I don't remember what they said on that line, on that hotline shit. So after I spoke to them on that line, tell me how the next day and shit, I'm at work chilling or whatever, and the store team leader is walking around the store with niggas in suits. So the store team leader, when he was like passing the aisle I was at and shit, like peeking, like on some peeking shit, and whatever, like he was looking at me and shit, like them niggas in suits was there for me. Stop it right now. What the fuck is this, Men in Black type shit? Like, anyways, so them niggas in suits was there, whatever. So then the manager, he was like, the store team leader, he like called me and that manager in some room, and he was like talking to us and shit, and he asked the nigga who was harassing me if he was harassing me, and tell me how the nigga says I don't know. He was like, oh, I don't know. He was like, I don't know if I did it or not. I was like, how he was harassing me was, he was grabbing shit from my hand, but like touching my hand in a certain way and shit, like just to fuck with me or whatever. So the store team leader asked him if he did that. This nigga's like, oh, I don't know, whatever. So then after that happened, they was like, oh, you want to transfer to another store? So I'm like, yeah, I didn't want to deal with that manager nigga no more. And it's crazy because I was telling my boy at the time, and he was like, oh, just fuck that nigga up. So I was like, I don't know anybody who would fuck that nigga up. So he was like, that's what you got me for. But I didn't want to get him to fuck that nigga up because he would have not did it. He would have got his boys and shit, and his boys, they crazy and shit like that. So like, what if they would have did more than fuck that nigga up and shit? Like, I gotta think about that for the rest of my life or whatever. So I didn't do it, and then he was like, oh, do the right thing. The same nigga that's like, fuck that nigga up, he was like, just do the right thing and shit. So I was like, all right. So that's when I told him and shit. And after I told him, that's when the store team leader was talking to me and the manager nigga. So then after that, I'm on the bus right now. I don't really want to miss my stop and shit. But the store team leader was like talking to us. He asked if I want to transfer. I was like, yeah. Yo, from that day, son, the rest of the days that I worked there for that company, Whole Foods, the bag that I just showed y'all shit, they were trying to make the environment hostile. They were trying to make my time at the job miserable and shit. So after that and shit, like I went to the other store, I transferred to another store and shit like that. And at this other store, like they was trying to fuck with me all day, every day type shit. Like they were trying to threaten me. You know what they would do? They would like leave broken glass at random spots. Like they would leave broken glass around, like trying to threaten me that, oh, they're gonna cut me and shit. These niggas the most pussy niggas I ever come across in my whole life. Like I said, I'm on the bus, so some niggas getting off or whatever, but damn, somebody else is getting off. Yeah, so these niggas the most pussy niggas in the world type shit. And there's a stalker in front of me right now, whatever. Like, she was pretending to be on the phone before and telling me how she was recording me. And when I looked at her, that's when she starts talking. That's what they do. Like, they be pointing a phone at me and shit and pretending that they talking, but they don't be talking. It'd be like dead ass, like 20 minutes that they got the phone pointed at me and they're talking. And they start talking when I start looking at them. Like, I'll be looking at them for a little while. All of a sudden, they start talking. All of a sudden, they got something to say after that. Anyways, so what I was saying? So yeah, this is 5 years later. This happened in 2012. Right now it's 2017, and there's people still stalking me from this company. That shit is crazy, yo. Not only that, but so what I was saying the beginning, like I was saying the start of it and shit like that. So long story short, yeah, so the nigga asked me who I wanted to transfer, so I transferred and shit. And when I got to the next store, like, they was trying to make my whole time there all miserable and shit. And at that store that I transferred from, there was a nigga that was selling weed and shit. Like, he used to sell weed there. And he said there was people following him around, like the moles for the company and shit. He was like that, they was following him around. Like, when he would try to go get that weed and shit, they would be following him around and shit like that. So I knew there was moles for the company. There's moles for every company, like people that just pretending to work there with you, but they actually moles. Like they there for whatchamacallit, for like, you know, to keep an eye on people, to see if people's working and shit like that. Yo, the stalkers on this bus, they tight right now. They like, this bitch is talking, these bitches on YouTube or making a video about this shit. But before I post this shit, I'ma crop all this shit or whatever. But this is my stop right here. So I'm gonna come back later. I don't even feel like cropping this shit. I just feel like posting this shit right now. But yeah, so I'm gonna post more later, alright?